Holy smokes. Vegas just lost 3 million tourists in 6 months. That's like the entire city of Chicago deciding not to show up. You know what's even crazier? While casinos are posting record profits, 400,000 local jobs are hanging by a thread. Hotels are playing pricing games that would make a Wall Street trader dizzy, and international visitors? They're disappearing faster than your money at a blackjack table. Look, if you've been wondering why Vegas feels different lately, buckle up. What I'm about to show you will completely change how you see America's playground. And trust me, it's not what you think. The Trump slump nobody wants to talk about. You wouldn't believe what's happening at Harry Reid International Airport right now. International passengers just dropped 10% in a single month. That's 27,000 fewer people walking through those gates. Here's the deal. Ted Papa George from the Culinary Union is calling it the Trump slump. Yeah, you heard that right. See, when you've got mass deportation rhetoric flying around and tariffs making headlines, guess what happens? Canadians, our biggest international visitors, they're staying home in droves. One union rep told me straight up, companies are literally calling us, saying their employees are scared to leave California for a weekend Vegas trip. Think about that for a second. We're not talking about people from halfway around the world. These are folks from LA and San Francisco who normally drive here every weekend. The fear factor is real, and it's costing Vegas millions. Local economist Mike Peen breaks it down even further. It's not just politics, it's pure economics. People are wondering if they're going to be okay to spend money on recreation, he says. When inflation's eating your paycheck and interest rates are through the roof, that Vegas weekend suddenly doesn't look so appealing. International immigration issues are making it worse. Those 272,390 international passengers in June? That's not just down from May, it's tanking year over year. The ripple effect is brutal. Every missing tourist means less tips for dealers, fewer rooms for housekeepers to clean, and empty seats at shows. Shalia Taylor, a housekeeper at Aria, put it perfectly. When I'm clocking in the morning, I look around. Wow, it's pretty empty in here. She's been doing this job for years, and she's never seen it this dead. But here's what really gets me. This isn't happening in a vacuum. The entire hospitality industry is watching these numbers like hawks, and they're freaking out. The domino effect is insane. Convention organizers are pulling out, citing security concerns that are really code for our attendees are scared. One major tech conference that brings 15,000 people every January? They're exploring alternative venues. That's millions in lost revenue right there. The taxi drivers are feeling it worst. I used to make $300 a night. Now, lucky to clear $150. Airport workers, hotel staff, everyone's hours are getting cut. What's really twisted? The casinos are using this slump as cover to automate everything. The price gouging game that's killing Vegas. Let me blow your mind with something. That same room at Bellagio that costs $500 tonight? Tomorrow, it's $200. Welcome to the insane world of Vegas pricing, where AI algorithms are literally playing Russian roulette with your wallet. Alan Feldman from UNLV's International Gaming Institute calls it a grease pole, constantly moving around. Here's how twisted this gets. The average room rate on the Strip in June was supposedly $174, down 7% from last year. Downtown? Just $87 a night. Sounds great, right? Wrong. Because here's what they're not telling you. Those averages are meaningless when the big resorts are using data analytics to squeeze every penny. AI is going to make it more precise and do it faster, Feldman says. Translation? They're getting better at figuring out exactly how much you'll pay before you walk away. Local Regina Knight summed it up perfectly. Everything, fees, everything. It's too expensive. She used to vacation on the Strip when she lived elsewhere. Now that she's a local? No way. I've been here for 2 years, so no, it's crazy now. The parking situation alone is enough to make you lose your mind. Heather Collins, a local social media influencer, nails it. The moment you're on property, you're already getting charged $25. Remember when parking was free everywhere? Those days are gone, buddy. Jeff and Priscilla Hatch, locals who used to love the Strip, won't even go anymore. The days of free parking are gone, and just the price gouging as well, they told me. But here's the kicker. While they're nickel and diming regular folks, The big resorts are chasing what they call luxury visitors. We're talking $600 to $700 a night for rooms that used to cost a fraction of that. Mike Peen explains it. The larger resorts seem to be attempting to transition to a different type of market, more luxury, more expensive offerings. Great for rich folks, terrible for everyone else. One visitor from Canada, Rick Lee, visits several times a year. His take? Prices have gone through the roof drastically in the last year or so. When Canadians, who get crushed by the exchange rate, are complaining about prices, you know it's bad. The crazy part is, this pricing strategy might be backfiring spectacularly. Let me break down the real cost of a Vegas weekend now. You think that $174 room rate is what you'll pay? Think again. Resort fees, $45 a night. Parking, $25 daily. Wi-Fi that should be free, $15. That $174 room just became $259, and we haven't even talked about taxes yet. Add the 13.38% hotel tax, and you're looking at nearly $300 for a supposedly average room. Food prices are even more insane. A basic breakfast that cost $12 in 2019? It's $28 now. Beer at the pool? $18 for domestic. Want a cocktail? That'll be $24, and they're watering them down. I talked to a couple from Phoenix who've been coming here for 20 years. We used to budget $500 for a weekend. Now we need $1,500 for the same trip. They're not coming back. We can fly to Mexico for a week for what a Vegas weekend costs now. The resort fee scam is particularly evil. They advertise low room rates to get you searching, then slam you with fees at checkout. It's bait and switch, plain and simple. These fees cover stuff that used to be free: pool access, gym, even phone calls. One hotel manager, speaking anonymously, admitted, "Corporate knows people hate it, but it's pure profit. No commissions to travel agents, no taxes on some of it. It's free money." The death of Vegas buffets and what it really means. This one hits different, folks. Before COVID, Vegas had 75 buffets. Now we're down to 11 or 12. That's not just about losing cheap eats. It's about Vegas losing its soul. Michael Kennedy from South Point tells me casino executives were excited to close their buffets when COVID hit. Excited. Let that sink in. These weren't struggling operations. They were deliberate executions. Accountants, says Ryan Growney, South Point's GM, with obvious disgust. Here's what he means. These people running these companies are looking at financial statements, but they've never been here. They've never worked the line at the buffet and had the thank yous. South Point is literally the only casino still running buffets 7 days a week, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Why? Because they get something the bean counters don't. Most of our restaurants lose money, Growney admits. His buffet losses have doubled since before COVID. But here's his brilliant insight. It's a marketing expense that brings people in. People come for the buffet. They stay to gamble. Heather Collins breaks down the old-school Vegas formula that worked for decades. People want to gamble, but how much is it going to cost them at your property? Free parking meant you could walk in. $1.99 breakfast meant you could stuff your face. Free drinks while gambling meant you stayed longer. You could put more money into the machine, she says. That's the Vegas magic formula, and they threw it away. Cynthia Corona, standing in one of the few remaining buffet lines, gets nostalgic just thinking about it. Those were the good old days, she says. Samuel Gutierrez agrees. There was a time when a buffet was synonymous with Las Vegas. Most places had them. Now, ghost towns where buffets used to be. The 99-cent shrimp cocktail is long gone. The $4.99 steak and eggs? Ancient history. What replaced them? $30 cocktails and $200 dinners. No wonder tourists are staying away. But wait, it gets worse. Those buffets weren't just feeding stations. They were community gathering spots where locals and tourists mixed. The economic impact of killing buffets goes way deeper than lost meals. Each buffet employed 50 to 100 people per shift. That's roughly 6,000 union jobs with benefits gone. The supply chain damage is massive. Buffets bought in bulk, everything from 50-pound bags of rice to 1,000-pound beef orders, one supplier explains. Now my business is down 60%. A Nevada cattle rancher. We used to sell 500 head a month to Vegas buffets. Now, maybe 100. Here's the sickest part. The Wynn buffet became a $500 per person steakhouse. The Rio's legendary Carnival World buffet? It's storage space now. One union organizer told me, they killed the buffets to break the unions. It was never about COVID. That was just the excuse. The F1 disaster and sports betting bubble. F1 was supposed to save Vegas tourism. Instead, it might be killing it. Jimmy Sang runs Las Vegas Souvenirs and Gifts right on Cobalt, ground zero for F1 street closures. I saw like 30 to 40% down, he tells me, about his foot traffic. Think about that. A gift shop owner losing nearly half his business because of an event that's supposed to bring tourists. This year I didn't see that many people coming from overseas. Very less, Jimmy says. The irony is thick enough to cut with a knife. Vegas spent millions turning itself into a sports city. We got the Raiders, the Golden Knights, now F1. Growing up, we had no teams. The Rebels were our home team, one local reminisces. Now we've got everything. But at what cost? Sure, after F1, some casinos were packed. I was at Bellagio, packed. Couldn't even walk within the lobby area, one visitor noted. But that's the problem. It's feast or famine. Either you're drowning in F1 crowds paying astronomical prices, or you're Jimmy Sang watching his business crater. The sports betting angle is even more twisted. Vegas went all in on becoming a sports destination. But guess what? Every state's legalizing sports betting now. Why fly to Vegas when you can bet on your phone from your couch in Jersey? The Sphere? Sure, it's cool. A lot of people are coming to Vegas right now for like the Sphere, admits one local influencer. But here's the million-dollar question she asks. Is that enough to make them really want to come and spend thousands of dollars? The answer, looking at these numbers, is apparently no. Vegas is trying to be everything to everyone. Luxury resort, sports capital, entertainment hub, convention center. But in trying to be everything, it's forgetting what made it special. Being Vegas. The numbers don't lie about this sports strategy failing. The Raiders Stadium cost taxpayers $750 million in public funding. You know how many teachers we could have hired with that money? About 15,000. Instead, we get 8 home games a year and maybe some concerts. The F1 race? Vegas ponied up $500 million for infrastructure. The promise was $1.2 billion in economic impact. Reality? Local businesses lost millions during construction. Hotels jacked up prices so high that regular tourists booked trips elsewhere. We had November reservations cancel when they saw $2,000 night minimum stays, a booking agent tells me. These weren't F1 fans canceling. These were regular tourists who got priced out. The Golden Knights were the only win, but even that's complicated. T-Mobile Arena gets packed, sure, but at $200 plus per ticket, locals can't afford to go. I used to take my kids to UNLV games for $20, one dad says. Now a Knights game for my family of 4 is a mortgage payment. Sports betting competition is the death blow nobody's discussing. DraftKings, FanDuel, BetMGM. They're all eating Vegas's lunch. Nevada sports betting revenue is actually declining, while national numbers explode. Why? Because you don't need Vegas anymore. In 2018, Vegas had monopoly on legal sports betting. Now, 38 states have it. The golden goose isn't just dying, it's already cooked. The convention business that sports was supposed to supplement? Also tanking. Major trade shows are going to Orlando, Phoenix, Nashville, cities that don't price gouge attendees. The 2026 recovery myth. Here's where things get really interesting. Everyone's saying Vegas tourism will bounce back in 2026. Based on what exactly? Hope and prayer? Let's look at history. Mike Peen walks me through every Vegas downturn since 1970, 1980 to 82. Visitor numbers dropped from 11.9 to 11.6 million. Why? Reagan recession, 17% interest rates, 2008 to 2010. The Great Recession stalled everything. Unemployment hit 9.5% nationally. COVID was the knockout punch. From 43 million visitors to 19 million. Vegas unemployment hit 15%. But here's what's different this time. We haven't seen as many visitors, but revenues are increasing, Peen points out. Sounds great for shareholders, Terrible for workers. This transformation to affluent visitors they keep talking about? It's a fancy way of saying they don't want regular people anymore. Steve Wolford, the News 3 reporter who's been tracking this, says this slump looks like an outlier. Translation? This isn't following historical patterns. Usually, Vegas tanks when America tanks. But right now, the stock market's hitting records, while Vegas bleeds tourists. Something's broken in the Vegas formula. When Newsweek runs headlines asking, "Is Las Vegas in trouble?" you know it's bad. Through June 2025, visitor numbers plunged over 7% compared to last year. After growing every year since COVID, we're suddenly in reverse. The recovery they're promising in 2026? It assumes international visitors come back, prices drop, and fear disappears. Good luck with that. When even locals won't visit the Strip anymore, you've got a fundamental problem that a calendar change won't fix. The math behind this 2026 recovery is pure fantasy. They're assuming 5% annual visitor growth to get back to 2019 levels. Consumer confidence is in the toilet. Credit card debt hit $1 trillion, and savings rates are at historic lows. Where are these mythical tourists coming from? International tourism faces even bigger headwinds. The dollar's getting stronger, making Vegas more expensive for foreign visitors. China, our third biggest source of tourists pre-COVID, still under restrictions. European visitors? They're choosing Dubai and Singapore instead. The labor shortage is another recovery killer. Vegas lost 100,000 hospitality workers during COVID, and they're not coming back. Median rent in Vegas hit $1,600. How's a casino worker making $15 an hour supposed to live here? Read the Yelp reviews. Staff seemed miserable. Worst service ever. That's not bringing tourists back. LVCVA keeps promising marketing campaigns will save everything. But what happens in Vegas worked when Vegas was affordable. The infrastructure's crumbling while they build stadiums. No slogan fixes fundamental economic reality. Vegas broke its business model. What's really happening behind casino doors? Let me tell you something that'll make your head spin. While visitor numbers are crashing, casino profits are somehow up. How's that possible? Simple. They're squeezing more money from fewer people. Those data analytics Feldman mentioned? They're not just setting room prices. They're calculating exactly how much you'll lose before you quit. Slot machines are tighter than they've ever been. Table minimums? Through the roof. That friendly comp system that kept you coming back? Gutted and replaced with algorithms. A dealer friend tells me, off the record, we're seeing the same faces every day now. The casual visitors? Gone. Translation? They're milking the gambling addicts while regular tourists stay home. MGM, Caesars, Wynn, they're all playing the same game. Fewer visitors spending more money equals higher profits with lower costs. Less staff needed, fewer amenities to maintain, but higher margins on everything. It's brilliant if you're a stockholder, devastating if you're anyone else. The irony? This strategy might be creating a death spiral. Fewer visitors mean less energy, less excitement, less of that Vegas magic that brings people back. Empty casinos don't feel lucky. Dead restaurants don't create memories. Ghost town pools don't make Instagram stories. Vegas without crowds is just a desert with neon. The financial engineering behind this is sinister. Caesars carries $13 billion in debt. MGM has $12 billion. These aren't healthy companies. They're zombies propped up by financial manipulation. The CEO of MGM made $31.5 million last year while cutting staff and services. Private equity's role in destroying Vegas is criminal. Station casinos, beloved by locals, got bought and gutted. The Palms, once the coolest spot in Vegas, now it's a ghost ship. Private equity doesn't build. It extracts and destroys. They're managing for quarterly earnings, not long-term survival, a casino executive tells me. Every decision is about next quarter's numbers, not next decade's viability. They're turning Vegas into a vending machine. Insert credit card, receive minimal service, maximize extraction. That's not hospitality, that's hostility. And tourists feel it. Look, Vegas is at a crossroads. Either bring back the deals that made it famous, or watch it become a playground exclusively for the ultra-rich. Those 400,000 jobs aren't waiting around for 2026 miracles. What's your take? Drop a comment below about your Vegas experiences lately. And hey, subscribe for more real talk about what's actually happening in America's playground.